All right, and welcome back. It is now time to talk business and politics. I am joined by Talk Business and Politics contributors Wes Brown and Steve Brawner.
I'm business.
He's politics and business. You're politics and business.
Okay.
Maybe the other way around.
Okay.
So, all right, let's talk first about the Healthcare Reform Task Force. We've been talking about it for almost a daggum year. Marathon meetings. Poor Steve Brawner here deserves extra credit. He sat through most of them. What's going to happen, Steve, now that the task force has sent these recommendations to the governor?
Well, the task force basically told the governor, the waivers that you want to seek, go out and seek them. And we will wait until we find out what happens. Basically, it was an endorsement sort of Arkansas Works, the replacement for the private option, but it wasn't a complete endorsement. It was an endorsement for him to go see if he can get waivers. So now he's going to go to talk to the Department of Health and Human Services at the national level, see what kind of waivers he can get to change the private option to make it more about personal responsibility and work and having people pay more for their premiums. And after that, he's going to come back to the legislature, and we're going to have a special session mid-year, and that's when the real fight's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be a real fight.
A cage fight is what Senator Jim Hittner described it as. We're going to find out what kind of poker player the governor is going to be with all this, because he's going to have to deal with the federal government on this, Wes, and then see what kind of deals he can cut.
Well, I think it's going to be, he's going to have to negotiate, as Steve said, with the federal government, with the Obama administration, then come back and work with it. And on his right flank, he still has some work to do, but I think he has enough, being a bullpit enough to go to the Republicans and say, hey, this is what I think we should do. And I think they're going to support him. I don't think you're going to see a big split as we've seen with the private option or when it was called Obamacare, but it's Arkansas Works now. But I think they're going to support him.
Yeah. Where do you, so Wes kind of sees it a little bit of a smoother ride here, but I think there's going to be conflict. Where do you see conflict creeping in?
Well, again, it only takes 25% in either house to stop it. That's 9 senators.
Yeah. So
there will be legislators who are opposed to it, because ultimately it's about using Obamacare dollars to purchase health insurance. So the big fight will be in the special session.
Yeah.
Now, you do see a lot of movement among legislators who they may have campaigns saying this is terrible, but once they get up here, they do tend to move to the center a little bit. But there are still legislators who are against it. And again, it only takes 9 senators to make everything stop.
Yeah, and there has to be some sort of alternative out there for them to cast a vote on, too. I mean, you can't just vote no. You got to have something
right
in terms of a substitute. There was a substitute proposal, Diamond Care, I think is what it was called, that was kind of floated out there. Steve, can you give us a little bit of an overview of what those legislators were wanting through that?
Sure. Diamond Care was a new kind of way of doing Medicaid, the entire program, not the private option. There's a big argument over whether or not we should have managed care for the Medicaid program. And managed care is where the government would contract with a private company to run Medicaid. And then that company would share in the, if they get the costs down, they make money, and if they don't, they might lose money. But that was the big, and there's some legislators who are opposed to that completely. And those legislators have come up with a plan that is more of an extension of what the state's already been doing.
We haven't seen the state manage contracts very well over the last year or two or more. So I mean, what?
Well, let's do another task force and see if we can come up with another
task
plan.
force on contracts. We could do that. That would be all right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the feds and interest rate, the jobless rate, and a little bit more about government efficiency, what probably folds into this healthcare reform debate to a small degree. I'm Roby Brock. This is Talk Business and Politics. We're back after this. Welcome back to Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock, joined by contributors Steve Brawner and Wes Brown. Wes, I'm going to throw it to you. We're going to try to talk some business now. We've been talking politics.
Politics, it's business.
Your shot.
All right, what we're going to talk about?
Give me a question.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about the job market. Arkansas just came out with their unemployment numbers this month at 5%, same with as with the federal. What do you think? Is it a good report, or are we still having some issues with the job market in
Well,
Arkansas?
I think that's the 10th consecutive month of the unemployment rate falling, which is a good sign in Arkansas. And there's actually job growth too, if you look at it.
Right.
Looking at the year-over-year numbers, 34,200 new jobs since this time a year ago.
Right.
I'd take those numbers in Arkansas at this point in time. What about you?
Well, it was pretty good, except for the one thing we've been writing about a little bit. There were 1,200 less manufacturing jobs, blue-collar jobs, which have really supported the middle class in Arkansas for years. For the year, they're down 5,700, and we're getting close to the lowest level we've ever seen since the state began keeping these numbers. So that's the one downer.
We're going to be a little bit lower in the energy, natural gas field pretty soon too.
Right.
So Steve Brawner, I'm going to let you ask the next question on whatever subject you want to.
Well, the governor is working with the Arkansas Policy Foundation to have another study on making government more efficient.
We need more government efficiency.
There was the Policy Foundation famously had another study in the 1990s called the Murphy Commission, which did some good things. And so I guess the question would be, will anything come out of this latest study that will be substantive?
I think that they will come up with some substantive changes. There were probably some things that came out of the Murphy Commission that could have been implemented but were not implemented. But look, I mean, I've said every year in the state budget, you can find $50 to $100 million worth of savings every year if you just want to tighten your belt up a little bit. Basically, take out growth revenue. I mean, and you're going to get that for by and large. So I think every year there's $50 to $100 million in savings. That just doesn't amount to a whole bunch, although that's not chump change in my checkbook. but $50 to $100 million doesn't do much for you at the state level. What do you think they will do?
I think, I mean, right now, what the governor wants, the governor is getting, and he wants this to succeed. He's told all of his agency heads to cooperate, and so I think that there will be a lot of there'll be some things that happen. You know, DHS is a big one right now. I mean, talking about $100 million, they just basically wasted $100 million on a contract for their re-enrollment process. So yeah, it's you can find the money.
I would say too, you've never had a governor get this behind an efficiency study like this before too.
Right.
All right, my question, I'm coming to Wes with this question
Okay.
here. Feds raised interest rates this week. Is it going to do anything? Is it going to make a difference?
A quarter point. It will. I think for now it's not going to do much because of the long term. The long term rate won't change on cars and home mortgages. So that's not going to affect it. But for one small thing that we'll see, some consumers will see some changes in credit card rates, and that will be an effect. But a lot of people don't even look at their credit card statements. So hey,
This was an endorsement by the feds that the economy is improving. It's the first time in 9 years they haven't lowered rates or changed rates. It's the first time in 7 years, I think, that they raised them. So, all right, last question. Highways, coming to you, Steve Brawner. What are they going to do on highways? Are they going to? The governor's got 4 options. There's only one that he even feels somewhat comfortable in endorsing. Is that the only plan that they really have? Is that the only thing that they might do?
Well, the governor has said that he wants a plan that's revenue neutral. It does not provide any more government revenues or any more taxes. And this highway task force that he appointed gave him 4 options. Only one of them could even be considered revenue neutral. The other ones raised a lot of extra money. You know, you can't.
taxes.
I mean, you can't. What we'll do is try to figure out a way to find more money without it feeling like we're finding more money.
Yeah.
And it will be. There could be some kind of tax increase on the gas tax side, but it would have to be accompanied by a tax cut somewhere else, or it's not going to fly at all.
Someone's going to feel the pain one way or the other.
Yeah.
What do you think, Wes?
We've talked about this. We've thrown this around. The issue is raising taxes, and it comes back to that. Are we going to raise taxes to improve our highways? I think that's the bottom line.
I'll predict that we are not. So, all right. Steve Brawner, Wes Brown, thank you both for being here. Appreciate you both a lot. And take care of this holiday season, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. That is all for this week's edition of Talk Business and Politics. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. Have a busy and a productive week. I'm Roby Brock. Until next time, take care.